I might have to show you something disturbing. I don't like doing this. I do not like subjecting people to disturbing imagery. I'm in a tough sort of profession, right? So first we cover the law. That's a big part of it. The law is not it's not a subject that is full of like simple, easy things. It's got hard stuff involved, ugly stuff, some of the ugliest stuff you can imagine. The worst of humanity comes out in the law, and I never want to like expose people to that without their consent. Oh dear God! Ah! Oh! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh. Oh boy. Whew. That wasn't supposed to happen yet. There's a little girl out there who's being hurt in a family court dispute that has gone very public. And the other thing I know is that when a friend of mine wanted to talk about it from his professional sort of experience, not as an expert, but just as someone with some experience in the field, both personally and professionally, in dealing with trauma. He wanted to talk about the trauma that was affecting this little girl. And that made a bunch of fatzos like this one hiding behind those profile pics, aren't we? Made them very mad. So, and also made Kelly Long, the mom's attorney, well, the attorney for Kelly Long, very mad as well. So much so that they thought it would be appropriate to get him fired by lying about him. Because, of course, that's what these people do. They lie. They're unlikable. They're unattractive. They don't have anything. And so they find something to latch on to. And in this case, they have latched on to Sophie Long, but not really. It's the idea of Sophie Long that they've latched onto. It's the movement that they need to be a part of. They must be part of the Save Sophie movement or Free Sophie, whatever it is. I don't even know what it's called. It doesn't matter. They don't really care about the girl. They care about people seeing them care about the girl. They care about people seeing them being a part of the movement, because people otherwise, I know it's hard to imagine not seeing this. Gravity alone will bend the light straight into it. But they aren't seen. They aren't remarkable. They aren't interesting. It drives them crazy. And they find, this is what I was talking about last night. That's what I was talking about in my tweet today about fetishizing. They find something to grip onto, to use for clout. We've seen it with the Vic people, right? The anti-Vic people who, like Mars Girl, for example, they don't get interaction until they start talking about like Vic. Then suddenly, the blah, blah, blah. So they keep doing it. It's reinforcing. It feeds into itself. And they're into feeding, you can tell. So they keep doing it. They keep going. They must do this. And then they say, oh, it's about blah, blah, blah. Just like the Kick Vic people. Well, it's about it's not about protecting people. None of them think anybody's actually in danger. Oh, it's about preserving the industry. Nobody thinks that the industry is even worthy of preservation, especially based on what they allege Vic has done. They know other voice actors that they still like have done way worse, tons of times. In the same way that they project a message upon their latching to a movement, in Vic's case, the Sophie people are doing the same thing. And that's kind of nasty. And they don't want people to acknowledge that. They don't want people to talk about it. They want to control the messaging, because if they control the messaging, then they're saving. So they're of course doing literally nothing for this girl. They're doing nothing about her at all, other than their fetishized exploitation of her. And I know they're doing that because that's exactly what they accused Ken of doing and what they accused me of doing. Even though I barely talked about Sophie at all yesterday, I was talking about Ken and what happened to him. They project. Confession through projection. They project onto others their failures, and then they attack their own failures in the other person. So, since there is a legion of them that don't want this case talked about in any way that they have not given a prior seal of approval on, and since Kelly Long's attorney doesn't want this case talked about, except when Kelly Long is making controlled press release statements, well, then I think we need to talk about it. I think that's our duty, our sacred obligation as proponents of the First Amendment, to talk about this. We've got to talk about what this is doing already to the people who decided to go after Kiwi Farms' Ken Jennings. And Ken doesn't endorse, approve, or participate in any of this, to my knowledge. He didn't ask for any of this, but it doesn't matter, because when people get into this idea that they can dox and destroy people, well, the funny thing is, whatever you may think of the Kiwi Farms, and I think the most loving and applicable thing you can say about Kiwi Farms is it is a den of disgusting, degenerate, pathetic, horrific, autistic monsters. That's the best way to put it. But whatever you think about that nasty group of weirdos, they have a profound sense of justice. It's their own. It's a unique sense of justice, but it is theirs, and it's oddly consistent. And so when poor Kiwi Farms Ken Jennings, who's just a guy commenting on a message board and then talking on some YouTube videos, they go after him. Even the people on Kiwi Farms who don't like Ken are like, hey, that's fucked up. Let's get him. Now it's this war, and it's so great. I can't deal. It's so funny. So, I am not a fan of doxing. I'm not a fan of it. Don't like it. Wish people wouldn't do it. Okay? Don't think people should engage in it. Think it's very, very poor form to do so. I don't do it. I don't even know how. Like, in theory, I could, if I knew where someone like lived in their name, like what county they lived in, I could maybe do a property record search. But that, assumes that they're not just renting. So, I don't, but I don't get involved in it. I certainly don't have time or inclination to go through like the social media accounts and try and piece stuff together. I don't do that because it's, like I said, it's not something I do. However, I'm not the internet. I'm not the internet at all. And the internet has no problem doxing. And the internet is, and by the way, to be very clear, doxing is almost never illegal. Doxing is typically not an invasion of privacy because usually the way people are doxed involves their public disclosure of information. And then if people have bits of it, they can just follow the breadcrumbs and put together a profile. That's true for most people out there, most normal people on the internet. Probably true for me. In fact, I'm sure I've been doxxed somewhere or another. It's a matter of time. But that being said, some people decided to go after Kiwi Farms' Ken Jennings. They did. They went after Kiwi Farms' Ken Jennings. They doxed him not using publicly available information, not using a trail of breadcrumbs. It seems, but they did it. And I don't know that was the best move for them to do. I don't know if that was the smartest move for people like Shell Bell to do. Because several of them have been doxxed. Shell Bell, Squishy the cat, that what was that? What was the name? Hold on here. Predifuls. That's right. Has also been doxxed. Who else? Let's see, who else was doxxed? Ask Your Bartender, Critical K, Queen Bee. Oh, man. That's quite a roster. That took someone less than 20 hours. Less than 20 hours, their anonymity was completely stripped. Completely stripped. I guess they fucked around and found out. Again, I'm not a fan of doxing. I don't do it. I've redacted these people's information because it's not about that. It's the principle. They have been completely and utterly doxed immediately. And they thought that they could just go ahead, hide behind their anonymity, and go after someone. They thought they could just ruin someone's life. I bet they never even considered the fact that they would be doxxed in a heartbeat. It's amazing. Whew. These people. So, the other things that have been documented that are going on are their comments. Their comments in their videos. People have been watching their live streams, monitoring their comment sections in their live chats, and whew, these people are lovely individuals. Name names, uncensor. I can't. If I put people's names and addresses up on there, that could actually be a violation of YouTube's terms of service. But you should be able to tell pretty easily from the color scheme where to find that information. But that's that's I'm not the one sharing it. I just, at the end of the day, I don't even know. Yeah. At the end of the day, all I have to say is this. Gross. Okay. I promise that's the last time. That if it happens again, it will be an actual accident.
Just kidding. You should have seen your face.
Bum, 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 bum. The Titanic is coming into harbor.